A Policeman and a Thief. A heartwarming and exciting children's story written by Mukhtar Ahmed. This delightful tale blends the fun of childhood games with a thrilling twist that will keep you smiling. Whether you are a child or a parent, this story is sure to touch your heart. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming adventures. All rights reserved.
A Policeman and a Thief by Mukhtar Ahmad. Arif and Tariq were two brothers. One day, their maternal uncle came from Saudi Arabia to Pakistan and stayed at their house. Along with clothes and shoes for his nephews, he also brought many toys. Among them was a police toy set that included a siren equipped car, a wooden toy gun, a megaphone, a pair of plastic handcuffs, and a brass whistle. Of all the toys, the boys liked this. Police set the most. They began playing a game of police and thief together. The whistle was extremely loud, so loud that it could make one's ears ring. Their mother was quite disturbed by the noise. Once, after the boys repeatedly blew the whistle, she became frustrated and warned Arif and Tariq not to blow it so hard. It made her ears buzz. For a short while, the boys were careful, and the sound of the whistle became softer. But before long, they started blowing it loudly again. When Arif blew the whistle 3 times in a row with full force, Tariq would immediately shout into the megaphone, "Police! Police! Run! Run!" This would start a wild chase all around the house. At lunchtime, when everyone had gathered, their mother complained to her brother, "Amir, what have you brought for these children? They've turned the house upside down." Uncle Amir smiled and said, "Sister, have you forgotten your own childhood? Remember how you used to make a racket playing Koda Jamal Shahi and Pehel Dooj, traditional Indian Pakistani children's games? Poor mom could never get a peaceful nap in the afternoon. These are just kids. Of course they'll play. They can play, but at least let it be a sensible game. One becomes a policeman and the other pretends to be a thief, running all over the house," she replied. As she recalled her own childhood and her mother, she smiled. Arif said, "Mama, when I grow up, I'll become a policeman. I'll catch all the thieves and lock them up in jail." "And what will you become?" she asked Tariq. "When Arif blows the whistle, you shout, 'Police! Police! Run! Run!' so loudly it shakes the whole house. That's what thieves and robbers do." Tariq quickly replied, "I'll also become a policeman. Being a thief isn't a good thing. I just pretend to be one to play with Arif." "All right then. Now finish your lunch quietly and sit down to do your schoolwork. Your monthly tests are starting next week and you need to prepare." Hearing their mother's words, both boys quietly began eating. In the evening, they were once again playing the same game in the lawn. Their mother was in the kitchen cooking dinner. She was also thinking about her brother Amir's wedding, which was going to take place in a week. That was the main reason Amir had come to visit. The next day, she had to go shopping for bridal jewelry with her mother and sisters. Lost in thought, she was suddenly startled by the shrill sound of the whistle. The latte in her hand almost dropped. She turned around and saw the policeman standing with a wooden gun and the whistle in his mouth, while the thief was trying to hide behind the kitchen door. "Wait, I'll teach you both a lesson now," she said, grabbing the latte and marching toward them. Seeing her approach like that, both boys burst out laughing and ran away. This happened at night. Arif and Tariq had gone to their room to sleep. They usually went to bed by 9, but it was now 11. Their mother peeked into their room to check if they were asleep. A dim 0-watt bulb glowed in the room, and both brothers were sitting on their beds playing with the same police and thief toys. She called out in a stern voice, "It's 11 o'clock. Haven't you gone to sleep yet?" "Mom, we can't sleep. We'll sleep in just a little while," Tariq replied in a pleading tone. Muttering in frustration, she walked away. Meanwhile, Uncle Amir was sitting in the drawing room watching TV when Arif's father called him into his room. He got up and went in. Arif's father invited him to sit and then said, "Tomorrow, they're going to the jewelry market to buy jewelry for your bride. I'll be at the office and won't be able to come early. Please go with them. The situation these days isn't safe. Unsavory people often roam around such places. It will be more reassuring if you're with them." Just as their conversation ended, a terrified scream escaped their mother's lips. Her face was turned toward the door. Both men quickly turned around, and what they saw made their blood run cold. A tall man was standing in the doorway holding a pistol. He wore dark sunglasses over his eyes, a cap on his head, and a face mask like the ones people wear to protect against allergies. It seemed that one of the drawing room windows had been left open, and the intruder had entered the house through it. "Who are you? What do you want?" Arif's father demanded sternly. "Can't you figure that out after seeing the pistol?" The man replied in a strange, heavy voice. Then, turning to Uncle Amir, the man growled, "You've brought a lot of money from Saudi Arabia. Hand it over, fast. Or else I won't spare a single life. It took great effort to get here. Police are stationed everywhere. I even saw a police car at the corner of the street. But I tricked them and made it here. You'd better believe I came with my life in my hands. If you try anything smart, I'll shoot without hesitation." Their mother's face turned pale with fear. Arif's father realized that resisting the robber could provoke him to do anything dangerous. Just as he was about to speak, Uncle Amir said, "Sister, all the money I brought is in my suitcase. Please give it to him." Then he turned to the robber and said, "Take all the money, but please leave quickly." Though the three large windows in the room were wide open and cool air was flowing in, Arif and Tariq's parents were drenched in sweat. Their mother, trembling, got up and began dragging Amir's suitcase out from under the bed with shaking hands. "Take out all the money and valuables and put them in this bag," the robber ordered in a terrifying tone as he pulled a bag from his pocket and tossed it toward them. "And if anyone tries to be clever, remember, it will end badly." But just as he finished speaking, the air was suddenly pierced by the blaring sound of a police siren. Moments later, loud whistles began blowing. Then came a booming voice from a megaphone, "Police! Police! Run! Run!" These sounds were coming from very close by, as if the police had already entered the house. The robber panicked. Without thinking twice, he stuffed the pistol into his pocket and dashed toward one of the windows, leaping out in haste. As he jumped, a loud and anguished scream echoed through the night. It all happened so fast that the three adults were left stunned. But one thing was clear: the whistle had been blown by Arif, and Tariq had shouted through the megaphone. But how did they somehow realize a robber had broken into the house? The three of them quickly rushed toward the boys' room. Arif and Tariq's father opened the closed door to their room. There was very little light inside. He saw both boys sitting on their bed, surrounded by scattered toys. The red and blue lights of the toy police car were flashing, and its siren was wailing continuously. Arif had a whistle in his hand. Seeing their father, both boys got nervous and quickly lay down, saying, "Dad, we were just about to sleep." "Don't worry," their father said affectionately. "You have no idea what a heroic act you've just performed." Then he took out his mobile phone, dialed the police station's number, reported the robbery, and asked them to send officers to their home immediately so the thief could be caught. When he ended the call and put the phone back in his pocket, Uncle Amir was staring at him in astonishment. "But Bhai Sahib, the thief already escaped. You saw him too. He jumped out of the window," Uncle Amir said in a surprised tone. "He didn't get very far," Arif and Tariq's father said with a smile. "Because of the serious water shortage here, we had a large underground water tank built. The work is still ongoing, and the ground beneath that window has been dug about 15 or 16 feet deep." The thief had no idea about this. When he jumped out of the window, he must have fallen straight into the pit, that's why he screamed. Everyone quickly went to the back room and looked outside. This was the rear part of the house. A tube light was installed outside, and under its glow they could see the thief jumping and trying desperately to climb out of the deep pit. Their mother praised Arif and Tariq warmly and said, "Now I'll never stop you boys from playing cops and robbers, no matter how loudly you blow your whistles." The two brothers were overjoyed. They were proud that a real thief had been caught because of them. A little while later, the local police inspector arrived in a jeep with his officers. Realizing he had no chance of escape, the thief surrendered. At the officer's command, he threw out his pistol. The policeman tied a rope, pulled him out of the pit, and handcuffed him. When the inspector learned that the heroes behind this capture were young Arif and Tariq, he praised them heartily. Uncle Amir was also thrilled, his major loss had been averted. And so, in the midst of play, the two brothers helped capture a dangerous criminal without even knowing it.